Tokyo Disneyland, the second best Disney theme park in Japan. And I'm saying that not to throw shade at Tokyo Disneyland, but to tell you that Tokyo Disney Seas is amazing. You've got to see it, and that is a weird way to start a Tokyo Disneyland tips video, but I've got to start it that way because the main tip is go to Disney Seas. If you're going to go to any Disney property in Japan, then go to Disneyland. Disneyland is still worth it. The tickets are extremely cheap compared to Disneylands all over the globe, but Disney Seas is better. That said, Disneyland is an amazing experience. There's some really cool things there. There's some amazing things to do, and these tips are going to make it all that much better. So let's get into it. First things first, let's talk about the weather, let's talk about the environment, let's talk about what you can and can't do to sort of prepare for this trip and make sure that you don't almost die. And I say that because the heat in Tokyo can be intense, and a lot of people going to Disney World in Tokyo are going during the summer. So how do you prepare for that heat? Well, it's pretty easy. First off, the most obvious thing, water is free in the park. Not the water bottles, but you can refill your water bottle at a variety of water fill stations throughout the park, so make sure you bring a water bottle. In addition to that, Tokyo has an amazing, and Japan in general has an amazing variety of heat-beating devices. Some of them are pretty obvious. You've got fans, you've got umbrellas, you've got gloves that will protect you from the UV, but in addition to that, you have coats that are literally air-conditioned, and you can find all these weird sprays that you can spray on yourself to make yourself feel cooler. It's a weird thing, it's like a minty spray, but it actually does work. My recommendation here is if you're going to Japan in general in the summer, what you want to do is just go to a store right away and buy some of those things. It's cool to experiment with, it's cool to see, and it is going to keep you a little bit cooler. That said though, just make sure you bring a water bottle, make sure you drink a lot of water, and make sure you prepare for the fact that a lot of these lines are going to have you standing out in the sun. And while we're talking about things you can bring into the park, do note if you've got kids, you can bring food in for the kids. So if there's anything special you want to bring in, if your kids go on vacation with you and only eat bread, just prepare for that. Bring that stuff in, it makes the whole experience a lot better and a little bit cheaper. One thing I do want to call out though is in Japan in general, you're not paying a huge upcharge on food, right? Like no matter where you go, whether it's the airport, a train station, or Disney World, you're not actually paying that much more for food. So don't worry too much about bringing food into the park, but just know it is an option. In addition to that, if it's raining, one of the things that you do want to do is prepare for the rain. There are some indoor rides and indoor activities, and in the entry to the park, there's a huge covered area. That said, there's still a lot of rides that even if they're indoors, you're going to have to wait outside in the rain. So if it's scheduled to rain, make sure you bring an umbrella, and if you're bringing a stroller, make sure you bring a cover for the stroller. The reason I say this is because a lot of the stroller parking areas are still outside, which means if you park your stroller, go in for a ride, and you come out and it started raining, you're going to come out to a massive puddle in the stroller, which no parent wants. It's hard enough to deal with kids, it's a lot harder to deal with kids who have to sit in a puddle. That said though, I've got to call out that Disney World is amazing for kids and even babies. We brought our baby to Disney World in Tokyo, and a lot of the rides were baby friendly. That said, some of the animatronics can be a bit intense for kids. But now we've got to go back to the beginning because I want to talk about the lines. Specifically the line to get into the park. And the reason I want to talk about this is because there is a perfect time that you can get to Disney World. And that is not exactly when it opens. That's because the park actually opens early. All theme parks in Japan open a little bit early. In the case of Disney World, we found that it opens around 8:45 to 8:50. We've been there a few times, and generally that's when it opens. If you want to get there and not wait in line for too long, my recommendation, arrive before 8:30. If you want to be at the front of the line, arrive before 8. But if you arrive before 8:30, you're going to be good. You're going to wait in a small line, but it's not going to be anything crazy. A lot of people aim to get there at 9. So that is sort of the time that you don't want to show up. If you show up right at 9, that is the worst case scenario. Show up a little bit ahead of time, you're going to be good. That said, if you get to the front line, go right into the park and go for a ride, you're doing everything wrong. The reason for this is because of the app, specifically because the app has this cool feature that allows you to book your ride ahead of time. You can book priority access. So what you want to do is before you get to Tokyo, before you get to Disney World Tokyo, what you want to do is you want to download the Disney Resorts app. And you want to make sure that you have an eSIM. The reason for this is because while the parks do have Wi-Fi, the Wi-Fi is spotty, it's slow, it can be very annoying to try and just use that. An eSIM is like 20 cents, 80 cents, $1 a day. I'd recommend getting it just for that day that you're in Disney World. Once you get into the park, you can pull open the app and you can book your spot in line, a priority pass. What this means is you're going to be a lot closer in line, you're going to have a lot shorter line to go on. for that specific ride. In addition to this, you can see wait times for rides. So as the day goes on, you're going to see longer and longer wait times for different rides. Those are the rides that you want to use your priority pass for. What you don't want to use it for is a ride that's only got a 20-minute wait, because these passes only come occasionally. It's every couple hours. Also, while you're waiting in line, make sure you do keep an eye on the app. One of the things that we were able to do is basically, with the app, we could see the wait time go to 0, which means the ride closed. As we were getting close to the front, we could see that the wait time was still 0. When we got out, we went and checked on the ride, and it was just opening. We basically got a ride for free. We didn't even have to wait in line. We just went right to the front, did the ride, and kept moving. It was an amazing thing to be able to do, and having the app enabled that experience. It's not really an experience, but that hack, that Disney hack. Speaking of Disney, let's talk about the characters. Let's talk about princesses. Let's talk about Pluto, Mickey, Minnie, the whole gang. If you want to meet them, you're going to want to meet them at the front of the park, because that's where the characters all show up. They're going to show up at random times, generally earlier in the day rather than later. And if you ask the staff, you can sort of suss out when these characters are going to show up, when you need to locate yourself at the front of the park. Go to the front of the park. This is where you're going to meet all the characters. The way it works is they'll show up randomly. Most of them do have handlers. And what's going to happen is they're going to just randomly take pictures with people. They're going to pick people out of the crowd. You'll get to take pictures, meet the characters, say hi, and that's that. There's no way to get in line. There's no way to just book it. You've just got to show up. You've got to get lucky, and you've got to meet the characters. We managed to meet a ton of them. Generally, my advice would be go to the front of the park. This is where those characters are all going to be, and do it. The best time I found was between sort of 11 and 2. But from what I gather, that does depend on the weather too. If it gets too hot, the characters aren't going to come out. And if they know the weather, if they know it's going to rain or something like that, they do try to plan around that. Another thing to talk about is the parades. The parades at Disney World are amazing. In fact, their nighttime parade is one of the best I've seen at all the Disneys I've been to. It's amazing. It's spectacular. I would recommend getting a seat. But when you get a seat, you're actually not booking a seat. And this was one of the things that caught us off guard. I don't know if this is a Disney thing or what, but you basically get a sort of area on the ground. And you don't have anything to sit on. You don't get a blanket or anything like that. You just get that location on the ground, on the pavement, on the dirt, wherever it is. What you need to do is, if you're planning to do this, bring a blanket, bring something to sit on. It's going to make the experience a lot better. We had to sit on the ground. It was still a great experience. We still got to be up close and personal with some really amazing floats that really did exemplify sort of that Tokyo vibe. But at the same time, it would be nice if we were able to sit on a blanket. And if we knew ahead of time, that would have been great. So there we go. I'm telling you ahead of time. Now you know, and you're going to be able to have a better experience than we did. Even though it still was an amazing experience. I don't want to dissuade anyone. If you got to sit on the dirt and you still want to sit up close and really experience the parade, it's 100% worth it. And another thing that's 100% worth it is going to Book Off. And if you know what Book Off is, this is probably where you're getting mad at me, because it has nothing to do with Disney World, but hear me out. So Book Off or Hard Off are basically these huge secondhand stores in Japan. There's a ton of them throughout Tokyo, and they have some amazing finds. And to give you an idea of the condition of these items, I was going there finding things that I remembered from my childhood. And if you're wondering, I'm not that young. And I thought these items were in such pristine condition that they had to be replicas. Until I looked into it and realized these weren't replicas, these were just so well taken care of that they looked almost brand new. So if you go to Book Off, what you can find is a lot of Disney merch. It's going to be older merch, and sometimes this is a good thing. So there's this rotating sort of popcorn bucket thing that goes on with Disney, Universal, sort of all the theme parks, in Japan at least, where you can get these popcorn buckets that are specific to years. Sometimes you're going to be able to get Super Mario themed popcorn buckets at Universal or Star Wars themed buckets at Disney. If you want one of those buckets and they are not selling it this year, you can actually go to the Book Off. You can get those buckets, bring them into Disney, and a lot of people are going to give you props for that. So that's a cool little pro tip there. You can find some good old merchandise that you wouldn't be able to find at Disney currently. That said, look into what Disney's selling, look into what they have before you go to Book Off, find the deals, find the items that you want, and then go into Disney fully prepared. And if you watch this video, you probably are going into Disney fully prepared. And if you want to see a video going over Book Off and the amazing things, check this one out. Until next time, have a great trip.